Quick question before we start. How are you storing your mushrooms right now? Because if they're sealed up in a plastic tub or a zip-top bag in your fridge, food safety folks will tell you you're doing the one thing that can actually make them risky to eat. Hold that thought. We'll come back to it. But first, here's something that messes with your head a little. The mushroom sitting in your fridge is more closely related to you than it is to the lettuce next to it. It breathes in oxygen and breathes out carbon dioxide, the same way you do. It is barely a vegetable at all, and almost everybody, including people who cook every single day, is getting it wrong. So for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to fix every mushroom mistake you've ever made. We'll start with the saddest one of them all, that gray, watery, slumping mess you've probably already given up on. Let me confess something first. For years, I treated mushrooms like a chore. I'd dump a handful in a pan, crowd them all together, and end up with this limp gray pile that just sat there looking defeated. If that's you, relax. The reason is simple, and once you hear it, you can't unhear it. A mushroom is mostly water. We're talking 80 to 90%. So when you crowd a bunch of them into a pan, they steam in their own juices instead of browning. The fix is almost too easy. Give them space. One layer, a little room between them, a hot pan, and some patience. Stop poking at them, let them sit until they release their water, let that water cook off, and then they finally start to brown. That brown crust is where all the flavor was hiding. And this next part is the thing I wish someone had told me 10 years ago. Mushrooms get more delicious the more you cook them, not less. Raw, their cell walls are tough and the flavor stays locked up tight. Heat breaks those walls down and frees up natural glutamates, the same savory compounds that make Parmesan and soy sauce taste so good. You're not just heating up dinner, you're building flavor out of thin air. Okay, let's meet the family, because these things are not interchangeable. The white button mushroom is the one everybody recognizes. Mild, cheap, a little boring on its own. Now leave that same mushroom in the ground a while longer and it turns into a cremini, sometimes sold as a baby bella. Same exact species, just older and earthier. Let it keep growing and it opens up into the big flat portobello with a dense, chewy cap people grill like a burger patty. 3 names, 1 mushroom, 3 stages of its life. Kind of wild when you find that out. Then you've got shiitake, woodsy and almost smoky, perfect in broths and stir-fries, though you'll want to cut off that tough stem first. Oyster mushrooms grow in soft, frilly clusters and taste delicate, almost a little like seafood. They cook fast and pull apart in shreds, which is why people use them to fake pulled pork or crab. And then there's the high-end stuff. Morels with their honeycomb caps, chanterelles that smell faintly like apricots, porcini that taste like the forest floor. Those run pricey, often come dried, and they're worth saving for something special. Now, a hard stop because this matters more than any recipe in this video. Everything I'm telling you is about mushrooms from a store or a trusted grower. Do not eat wild mushrooms you find on your own unless a qualified expert has identified them in person. I mean that. Poison control centers and public health agencies say it flat out. It is never safe to eat a foraged mushroom unless an expert confirms it. Cooking does not destroy the dangerous toxins. Deadly species can look almost identical to safe ones, and the worst symptoms can take hours to show up, long after you've finished your meal. Foraging is a real skill that takes years and a real teacher. There's no app for it, and there's no "I'm pretty sure." All right, lecture's over. Back to the fun part. So you're standing in the produce aisle. How do you pick a good one? Trust your hands and your nose. A fresh mushroom feels firm and a little dry, not slippery or slimy. The cap should look smooth, not shriveled or blotched with dark, wet spots. Then smell it. It should smell clean and earthy, never sour or fishy. And if you can see the gills underneath, tight and pale means fresh, while dark and spread wide open means it's on its way out. Now back to that storage warning from the very beginning. Mushrooms hate 2 things: being suffocated and being soaked. Don't seal them in an airtight container because they sweat, they turn slimy, and that trapped moisture can let harmful bacteria grow. Health agencies actually flag this as a botulism risk, which is exactly why I led with it. The safe move is dead simple. A paper bag in the fridge, or just leave them in the original package if it has those little holes punched in the film. The paper soaks up extra moisture and lets them breathe. Loose mushrooms in a paper bag will keep happily for several days. What about washing them? You've probably heard you should never get mushrooms wet or they'll turn into sponges. Mostly a myth. A quick rinse right before you cook is totally fine, since they won't soak up enough water in a few seconds to make any difference. Just don't leave them sitting in a bowl of water like dishes in the sink. For the really delicate ones, wipe them down with a damp paper towel instead. Either way, pat them dry afterward, because remember, a dry mushroom browns better. Here's a little move that makes you look like you know exactly what you're doing. Stop tossing the stems. Woody shiitake stems are too tough to chew, that's true, but don't throw them out. Drop them in a pot with an onion, some garlic, and water, and let it simmer for half an hour. Boom, you just made mushroom stock, the quiet secret behind soups and risottos that taste like they cooked all afternoon. The softer stems from creminis and buttons, you can simply chop up and cook right alongside the caps.
Now, let's actually cook these things, because mushrooms can do almost anything. Sauté them hot and fast in butter or oil for that classic golden savory bite. Add garlic and a splash of wine or soy sauce near the end, and you've got something that tastes like it came out of a restaurant kitchen. Roast them in a hot oven and they shrink down into chewy little bombs of flavor. Throw the big ones on the grill and the smoke wraps right around them like they were made for it. Drop them into soups and broths and they add that deep savory note you can't quite name. Stir them through pasta or fold them into risotto and a plain bowl turns into real comfort food. And because they get so meaty when you cook them right, they're one of the best plant-based swaps out there. A marinated portobello cap really does scratch the burger craving. Want to take it up another level? Dried mushrooms are basically a cheat code. Drying actually concentrates the flavor, so a small handful of dried porcini soaked in hot water for 20 minutes gives you tender mushrooms, plus a deeply savory soaking liquid you pour straight into the dish, 2 ingredients for the price of 1. Then there's pairing, which is where mushrooms jump from good to flat-out addictive. They love fat. Butter, olive oil, cream, all of it carries their flavor and helps them brown. They love a hit of acid right at the end, like a squeeze of lemon or a splash of vinegar to wake everything up. They go beautifully with woodsy herbs like thyme, rosemary, and sage. And here's the real chef trick. Pair mushrooms with other umami-rich foods, and the savoriness doesn't just stack, it multiplies. Mushrooms with parmesan and a little soy or miso, and your taste buds basically short-circuit. That's not a gimmick, that's real food science.
One more thing before we wrap, because it honestly caught me off guard. Remember how I said mushrooms breathe like animals? They've got another animal-style trick. They make vitamin D in sunlight, the same basic way your skin does. Most store-bought mushrooms have barely any because they're grown in the dark, but slice them, set them out gills up on a sunny windowsill or out on the porch for an hour or 2 before cooking, and they'll quietly load up on vitamin D. Free nutrition, 0 effort, from a food most people might off as filler. It was never filler. So let me circle back to where we started. That sad gray pile you used to make, it was never the mushroom's fault. It was just waiting for you to give it a hot pan, a little space, and a few minutes of patience. Nothing about the mushroom changed. What you know about it did. Here's your cheat sheet. Buy firm ones, store them in paper never sealed up tight, don't drown them, cook them hot and let them brown. Save the stems for stock. Lean on fat, acid, herbs, and umami, and leave the wild ones to the experts every single time, no exceptions. Do all that, and the most underrated thing in your kitchen quietly becomes the first thing you reach for. If this video taught you something useful, do me one quick favor and drop a comment that just says yes. That one little word tells us you want more videos like this, and it honestly keeps us motivated to make them. Hit subscribe while you're down there, because the next one fixes something else you've already got in your kitchen.